Good morning, my friends. This is our New Testament challenge. Today I'll be sharing with you some thoughts and reflections from the 13th chapter of the Gospel of Mark. Interesting chapter. It's been fun reading through the Gospel of Mark because each chapter, really goes off in a different direction. And we've been talking about some teachings. He's done some healing, and here he's looking ahead. He's looking ahead to not just, the end of his life, but farther ahead to how things will happen toward the end of time. And so they're walking through the temple, and one of the disciples said, "Look, teacher, what large stones and what a large building." And Jesus says, "You see these? Not one stone will be left upon another. All of it will be thrown down." And the disciples like, "When is this going to happen? What's it going to look like?" And then Jesus really didn't answer him there. He says, "Beware that no one leads you astray. Many will come and say, 'I am he.'" And he says, "There will be wars and rumors of wars. Do not be alarmed. This must take place, for the end is still to come. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. This is but the beginning of the birth pains." And so I think when they talked about the temple, and one of the things is people looked at the temple and say, "Oh, it's going to be there forever. It's such an incredible marvel of construction that there's no way it would ever lose." And Jesus saying, "Well, even what looks to be permanent in this world is temporary in the eyes of God, and there will be a time when that temple itself will fall." And so he said, just be careful. He says that for yourselves, he's talking about the future. As for yourselves, he says, I hate to say this, but they will hand you over to councils, and you'll be beaten, and you will. And the good news will, but first be proclaimed to all the nations. And it says when you get brought to trial, don't worry about what to say. He says, God will provide you what to say through the Holy Spirit. Brother will betray brother to death. A father's child, and children will rise up against parents. And you will be hated by all because of my name. Fun story. Good sermon, preacher. But those who endure to the end will be saved. So there's the good news in this. He said things will be tough, but endure to the end. And it says, when you see the desolating sacrilege set up where it ought not to be, let the reader understand. Wink, wink. And for us in the 21st century, we don't understand. We're not quite certain what he's talking about there. There are all sorts of rumors, all sorts of thoughts. And this is a reference to Daniel. This desolating sacrilege first comes to Daniel. Some people think that he is talking about the Roman conquering of Jerusalem, and they're taking over the temple again, and this does happen in the 70s A.D. The temple, Jerusalem falls again, and the temple is destroyed. We don't know if that's it or what he's talking about. He says, just be careful. This is a time to leave. When you see these signs, be aware, be watchful. He talks about the coming of the Son of Man, the lesson of the fig tree. He says, when you see the buds coming out, harvest is soon. When you see these signs that he's talking about, that God is about to send his Son. And so you just need to be aware. He says, the necessity for watchfulness. He said, about that day or hour no one knows, not the angel in heavens, nor the Son, but only the Father. But stay alert. Stay alert. If you're prepared for heaven now, then anything that comes your way will be okay. So go ahead and prepare. Get everything ready. Get your heart, your life, your soul, your family, get everything ready. And then when, not if, but when the end comes, when Jesus comes back, everything's going to be good for you. Some thoughts, deep thoughts for today. Hope this helps, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.